days when the Iron Curtain was strong, people flocked to Soviet airports to see the arrival of an American. That person was not a superstar who had the influence to shake up market like Taylor Swift's or showed off sophisticated dance moves, but a middle-aged man who smoked and wore glasses rather than sunglasses. He is VOA's jazz host Willis Canover.
Time for jazz. Willis Canover in Washington, D.C. with the Voice of America Jazz Hour.
The program was broadcast in short waves, but in today's era, a radio broadcast in which music and commentary are mixed with unique noise is completely unattractive. But many Soviet citizens reacted to the broadcast, which was really poor in terms of sound quality. Could it be because jazz is the music of the exploited class? Culture flows like air. The driving force behind accepting them is not because they have precious American values, but because the public enjoys them. The scariest and fiercest part of American culture is whether it sells more than what values or orientation it has, and with true passion starts selling that star to make money. Let's not be hypocritical. What is unique about American culture is that it does not inquire about the origin of something. The moment they decide, this music or this movie is fun and meaningful right now, liberal, sexy American culture provides a sense of liberation and hope in the current oppressive reality to the grassroots of modern capitalist society who accept their slightly chaotic culture. Even in countries that do not have positive feelings about the United States, the sight of their citizens enjoying American culture through pop music, movies, and TV would be completely unwelcome to their country's think tanks, and such a phenomenon cannot be prevented. The might of culture is that it cannot be prevented. If the music suits you or you listen to it often, you will unconsciously hum the melody without any knowledge of the background, and if you are moved by the passionate performance of a movie star, you will wear a similar scarf, shoes, pants, skirt, and stockings without even knowing it. And it becomes a trend in that society. The greatest power of culture is the admiration and assimilation of the center of the core culture. The United States has penetrated into people's daily lives in terms of military technology, food, and culture. Efforts to prevent such infiltration simply fail due to the human reaction of wanting to do more when told not to do it. It injects a completely different air into humans who react to unfamiliar and new things. When talking about propaganda and incitement of noble reason and values, there are people in the society who dance, talk, and laugh regardless of such words. When the United States dispatches troops, military artists go with the soldiers, and broadcasting stations also accompany them. Jazz bands had already landed in Europe with soldiers during World War I, and those who know jazz will surely remember Glenn Miller, a jazz conductor who died while fighting in World War II. If you search on eBay, you can see a wide variety of records. Among them, the U.S. Army Signal Corps carried V-discs for wartime soldiers. The records contain American pop and jazz music such as Frank Sinatra and Duke Ellington. Rome competitively built facilities like the Colosseum in Europe and Africa and held events for Roman citizens whenever necessary, to demonstrate the greatness of Rome and its power. Now times have changed. The efforts of companies such as YouTube, Netflix, Disney TV, Apple TV, Amazon, Facebook, and X to monopolize the public's eyes and ears are being made by managers' bloody efforts to benefit shareholders. Although the cultural experience appears fragmented, the pipelines of major cultural industries tie together Earthlings rather than Romans much more tightly. What can be seen here is that just as America's space exploration project was transferred from NASA to the private sector, cultural exports also appear to have been completely transferred to the private sector. As generations pass by, various American music and movies are constantly distributed through various channels. The code of culture that is constantly injected into the ears and eyes is an indirect experience of the society that is being spread, but has the power to assimilate it. However, it requires an enormous amount of time. It is now past time to see the impact seen in Willis Canover's activities jumping through space and making an impact. The speed is too fast now. Nowadays, every breaking news, scandal and gossip is consumed instantly and globally. Culture and media will be the biggest achievements in the United States' efforts to solidify itself as a prime nation in the post-war order that emerged after World War II. Although they have a lot of the latest weapons, the history they have shown so far is that their abilities shown in actual combat are not very reliable. Look at Afghanistan. Everyone praises him for having the best skills in the financial field, but the various financial accidents that occurred in the United States after World War II, the suspension of gold convertibility, the Savings and Loan Association crisis in the 1980s, the 2008 financial crisis triggered by subprime mortgages. Isn't the current situation surrounding TikTok a response not only to Americans' information being stolen by China, but also to countries other than the United States capturing their eyes and ears? Although it is said that destruction lurks after completion, the operation to occupy the eyes and ears that the United States has painstakingly built since World War II was the most successful plan. The United States has been constantly challenged in many areas that measure a country's capabilities, but the American media industry, armed with liberalism and diversity, is greeted by colorful clowns, gentlemen, and seductive beauties at almost every entrance.